Odd Olympic events are my favorite part of the games. The weirder, the better. The best events are the ones that you can watch for like 5 minutes and you still don't know exactly what the event is. So on today's episode of 5 Weird Things, we are diving into the weird world of odd Olympic events. Welcome to the channel. I think luge has always struck me as one of the oddest of the Olympic events. Something about flying down a mountain at about 80 miles an hour with skis on your butt more or less seems like a bad idea. Now, what event catches your eye? Let me know down in the comments. All right, let's get into it. First, the things we all need to know. Getting a sport into the Olympics is like trying to get your pet hamster into a prestigious ballet school. First, you pick something that people actually play, and sorry, extreme napping does not count. You form an international federation that sounds official and serious, not just you and your buddies with a logo. Prove that the sport is popular worldwide, not just in your neighborhood. Submit a dazzling proposal to the International Olympic Committee, complete with charts, graphs, and maybe a catchy jingle. Sometimes the sport gets a trial run at the games. If it's a hit, great. If not, at least you tried. Ensure your sport isn't absurdly expensive to host. In other words, no unicorn jousting. No host city wants to pay for something ridiculously expensive. Finally, the IOC votes on it. And if they love it, congratulations. Your quirky sport is now Olympic worthy. Weird thing number 5. The pentathlon. The modern pentathlon has 5 completely unrelated sports: fencing, swimming, horse riding, pistol shooting, and running. It's like they couldn't decide on one, so they just threw a little bit of everything in. I mean, what's next? Juggling wall baking? In the equestrian event, athletes are given a horse they've never met just 20 minutes before the competition, and it's like a blind date with more jumping and fewer awkward silences. The sport was designed to mimic the skills needed by a 19th century soldier behind enemy lines. So if you've ever been in a tight spot and need to swim, shoot, fence, ride a horse, and run away, you're all set. Now in 2009, they swapped traditional pistols for laser guns in the shooting event. It's like they decided to add a little bit of Star Wars to the event. The founder of the modern pentathlon, Pierre de Coubertin, believed it showcased the complete athlete. Basically, it's the Olympic versions of a reality show challenge where they test contestants' random skills to find out who's the ultimate jack of all trades. Weird thing number 4, the biathlon. Another combination sport. The biathlon combines cross-country skiing and rifle shooting. It's like the organizers couldn't decide between a winter sport and a shooting competition, so they put them all together just for the hell of it. Athletes have to slow down their heart rates after intense cross-country skiing to shoot accurately. It's like sprinting to the fridge and then trying to thread a needle. Talk about multitasking. You miss a shot, you have to ski a penalty loop. It's the athletic equivalent of being sent to the corner for a timeout, except your timeout involves skiing. The biathlon has roots in ancient hunting practices and military patrols in snowy regions. So it's basically a sport inspired by old school errands. Hey Sven, go catch dinner and guard the village. The targets switch from large to small as athletes get closer to the finish line. It's like a carnival game that keeps getting harder the better you are. Imagine winning a giant teddy bear for your shooting prowess, but you first have to ski a marathon. Weird thing number 3, Olympic handball. I just saw it for the first time this year, and it was 10 minutes in, I still had no clue what it was. Handball is like soccer, but you throw the ball instead of kicking it. It's as if someone thought, what if soccer players just used their hands? And voila, handball was born. The game is so fast-paced that it's often described as water polo on land without the water. So if you've ever wanted to play water polo but couldn't swim or didn't like getting wet, handball's your game. Players can actually invade the opponent's goal area if they shoot the ball before landing. It's like a mid-air ninja attack followed by an Olympic-sized belly flop. Players can get a 2-minute suspension for minor fouls, making it feel a bit like a high-speed version of timeout in kindergarten, but with more yelling and fewer snack breaks. An average handball game sees about 50 goals. It's as if the player get points for trying to set a world record for the most goals in an hour. Imagine a soccer game where the score ends up 25-25. Weird thing number 2, Olympic tug of war. In the 1904 Olympics, one team was disqualified for using a rope with a knot in it. The official rule book must have been a page-turner, detailing every potential rope mishap. Olympic tug of war teams were often composed of athletes from other sports, so they didn't show up training for the tug of war. They would just pull in the weightlifters and the sprinters, and it was basically the sports equivalent of putting together a band from musicians that happened to be at the club that night. In the Paris Games, 1900, one team showed up late for their match and was disqualified. It's like losing an Olympic event because you just couldn't get through traffic in time. Competitors were known to use all sorts of tactics, including greasing their hands or even using various types of footwear for a better grip. Imagine the secret strategies involving everything from special gloves to magic spells. Tug of war was eventually dropped from the Olympics after 1920. Perhaps the International Olympic Committee decided that the sport's ultimate strategy was to keep everyone on a tightrope of tension, literally and figuratively. And finally, weird thing number 1, Olympic breakdancing. Now, officially known as breaking or b-boying, this Olympic event could make you wonder if the judges are secretly 15-year-old girls. I imagine them texting and vaping while evaluating your spins and headstands. Breakdancers often compete on the same level as elite athletes, showcasing moves that make gymnasts look like they're doing the cha-cha. It's like a dance between Michael Jordan and Fred Astaire. Judges look at everything from footwork to style points, which means the dancer's flair might just earn them extra points. It's like grading a science project based on how cool it looks and what the kid's wearing. Breakdancers spin on their heads for what seems like an eternity, so it's the Olympics' way of asking, well, how dizzy can you get before you fall over? Breakdancing was officially included in the 2024 Olympics, marking its debut as a sport for the first time ever. So if you've ever seen your grandparents bust a move, they were actually ahead of their time. Breaking is now Olympic approved. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Hope you had as much fun as I did. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Dive into more of my content to keep the weirdness flowing in your day. And for those that are still with us, today's secret code word is gold, silver, bronze. Drop it in the comments just because, no reason, just a little Olympic flair. Take care. Have a great day.